All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Grand Blue, Season 1, Episode 1.
Right.
This is our new show replacing Kaguya, Love is War.
Yep, because Kaguya was a bit of a
shoe-in.
A shoe-in, yeah.
Yes.
It would have taken a lot to beat Kaguya. But yeah, here we are. And I've been wanting to watch the show for a while.
Yeah, this is a show that we've heard quite a bit about. We've gotten a lot of recommendations. The recommendations cooled down recently a decent bit. But when we were thinking about how to do a Kaguya poll back when people were asking for Season 2 quite a bit, we were like, okay, well, let's basically make it where the top 2 win.
Exactly.
So we put a bunch of other shows that people very much wanted us to see. And then when people saw Grand Blue, they were like, oh my God, yes, that's definitely the second place we want. So I know that this is very much a college humor,
like
kind
frat
of boys,
just
kind
getting
of set
up
up
to
there.
stupid shit.
I also know that it is a renowned manga.
I've heard that too.
In that it is an anime based on like one of the best comedy mangas out there. But it's also one where, you know, a lot of people are in the like, oh, the manga's, you know, way better kind of thing. And it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Well, let's see if this is a, you know, great enough, you know, advertisement for the manga that, you know, we end up going and being like, oh, you know, I guess actually maybe we'll just
check
go and check that out.
Yeah,
exactly. But new show means new characters, new stories. And since it's a comedy, it means new laughs and new lines to quote and new characters that are bakas to appreciate. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, this is the comedy show that is replacing Kaguya, and it's a very specific style.
It is.
Of comedy.
It is. I am rather excited to see all of the insanity that they get up to in this show.
Insanity is, I think, the best word.
But it's also something that reality is stranger than fiction.
True.
Oh boy.
The stories.
Not myself personally, but oh yeah, like people that just drink vodka like water. Yes, I lived with some Russians for about 6 months, and
vodka.
There was just no difference.
It sounds like water, but it's vodka.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
exactly. This is a really good look at what would be a lot of cases a freshman's experience in a university where they get basically thrown right into the frat boy situation. And I think that it's a bit exaggerated, and there's a couple things that will be probably better for Iori in this case, in that these people seem to have, for the most part, actually his best interests at heart. They don't know what his best interests are necessarily, but what they think are his best interests.
Yes, they're very well intending.
I would say that's the best thing about this is that these people will all end up probably being really good friends.
Oh yeah,
and the part that I'm most hilariously terrified about is when everyone just starts sleeping with each other. Like that's
so it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Like what? So
like they already set up only okay. Yeah. There's the moments in anime where they set up crushes, right?
Oh,
and it's like, oh, right. The first scene basically is him seeing Chisa, undressing out of the wetsuit.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, a babe. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cliche, but it's like, it's not going to last necessarily in that regard because, Baka, there's that whole situation he's got to deal with. Oh, man,
there are so many things I want to say.
Then we find out they're potentially first cousins.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And when you have to add first in front of it, it's like...
Well, no. My point is that they might not make the distinction.
No, I know.
Because they just don't care,
right?
Because let's talk about the fact that immediately, like in like the first like third or something, or first half of the show, then they're like, oh, but Nanaka, she's a whole different beast. She's just in love with her sister.
Yeah. So
huffing the jacket.
What? So okay. It really started.
There's so much insanity in the show already.
For me, I really appreciate stories that take place in college because I feel like then it's something where a lot of the traditional things that a lot of anime are scared to do. In college, you don't have to worry about that necessarily, right? You're not, you're not necessarily as nervous around people all the time, and and things like that. And when it comes to romantic relationships, right? You know, it's like, oh, but they're in high school, so we can only have them hold hands.
No
maybe,
taboo,
right? Yeah, exactly, right. Whereas in college, it's like, okay, go for it, right?
Right.
But in a situation like in college, where you're spending potentially a large amount of money, undergoing regular amounts of high pressure sorts of situations where you need to be able to basically be focused on your work and things like that and get stuff done because this is your future that you're starting to build here.
Starting to build.
Well, yes, right, you are, right? There can be a lot of need to blow off steam in some pretty extreme ways. And one of the things that I've found is that the more extreme the work you're doing, the more extreme you're studying, the more extreme the partying. And I have never been able to fully understand just how people are able to balance both at the same time, right? The law students that are doing 70 hours of like all-nighters constantly just for studying, and then they somehow manage to get sloshed.
Do you not remember the energy of being 18 years old?
Oh, I do. I do.
Dude. Like, when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, your body is freaking fired up just on everything.
You're doped.
You are literally perpetually doping, basically, on all kinds of hormones, and then you're horny as hell.
Right.
Oh yeah. It's totally like maddening.
Yeah.
The fact that you'd think that you'd be able to just sit in your dorm and just study all the time and not go absolutely insane.
Yep.
I would say in some ways that's why I think the reason why I didn't become a crazy partier or anything like that was primarily that I had an insanely good outlet in sports specifically.
Sure.
And I was just constantly running, and I would just be too exhausted to stay up late. I'd say like 90% of the reason why you'd end up doing that is you just end up staying up late, and you're like, well, everyone else is doing this, so I'm just going to join them there. And it's the mob mentality. But in this show, we're getting introduced to the characters, I would say, rather slowly. And I think that that's kind of nice, because we don't really know too much about any of these characters. In fact, the one we know the most about is Ryujiro. We know that he's a mechanical engineering major, just like Iori is, and that he's a little bit more multidimensional than we'd first assume, given that he spent the first few minutes of the show totally naked, trying to chase down Iori to try and get him into the club.
Yeah,
which okay, if we take just what's happening in the show at its base level, this is the story of the new character having to be told the way it works in this new world that they come into.
Stranger in a strange land.
Exactly. Yeah. And in the anime sense, this is the we need more members for our club aggressive negotiation style of things.
Oh yeah.
And in this aggressive negotiations, the lightsaber is not a lightsaber.
Indeed.
No.
Indeed.
But it does shine bright like a diamond. Oh,
and it does swing this way and that.
In this show, we just do hard black circles instead of shining. So,
I love that they did a black circle for censoring, even for the from behind shot between the legs. Like that was
because I'm guessing what this is in the manga. Oh yeah, maybe we're getting the full package.
Yep.
And I would actually just like to know, because in some ways I don't think they would necessarily do that because of publishing, stuff, and they'd probably get more mainstream appeal for this manga if they censored at least the frontal nudity.
So potentially, I don't know. But
yeah.
So I have a story to tell.
Okay, can we discuss the full episode first?
Sure. But it pertains to the crazy amounts of nudity that can and do definitely happen when you're in a place that's hot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With this episode, we got he got fully inducted. By the end of it, he was a
drinking with the best of them
member. Yep.
Doing
Bottoms up
John
and everything.
With full drunk everything. Now he didn't go full nude.
That's true.
And Chisa did give him the baka, kind of thing of just seeing that this guy who might have been maybe a semblance of normality come from the outside world, and she was like, "Oh, cool. Maybe you're going to be a normal person and we'll actually be able to hang out and be cool." No, you got absorbed into the gelatinous mass of the
of dicks.
Yes, of all that. So there's that. But we also got introduced to a character in Kohei. Kohei is my most excited about character right now. Everything about Kohei, I can see so many ways they'll take his character. One, his best joke was the fact when he's like, I'm gonna get him to laugh. It's like, I'll have you know I used to be an otaku. What's so wonderful about this is that before this, they had just explained how he was so delusional, probably because of his, otaku leanings, that he was supposed to be getting a harem of high school girls in college.
Yeah.
As you do, obviously. And Iori was like, don't worry, keep chasing your dreams, man. We'll make it happen. It's out there. That's the way the world works. And he's like, really, man?
And yet
beautiful.
That whole myth can just be debunked of why would you even want that? Have you seen the college girls that have already been shown in this show?
That's true.
That's
true. Yeah. But to be fair, we haven't seen that many, and college is filled with beautiful women in that regard. So this is going to be quite that type of show. But with Kohei, you can definitely see this lack of self-awareness regarding him, not just within that scene, but the fact that he is seen as so conventionally attractive by the other female students that they're all like, oh my god, he's so hot. Wow.
That they ignore the fact that he's got an anime girl.
Dude, if they're that absorbed in his actually attractive face, they don't care about all this until he takes the shirt off. So what I love about this is that he's unaware that he's getting gawked at and oogled and stuff like that. Thus, he's missing out on his harem potential that is probably right in front of him. And then also, in that regard, he's so focused on it being probably connected to his favorite harem, anime.
Sure.
That he's focused on high school girls rather than actual, college girls that are, 2 years older that are right nearby.
And I'll do a lot more than hold your hand.
I mean, anyway. I love where he can go as the actual best friend of Iori as well.
Oh yeah, and also kind of the rival, they set that up sort of.
True, they did set that up, yeah.
And I'm sure there is plenty of fan fiction. I mean, hey, maybe not even necessarily fan fiction, in college. Of what would happen with the two of them if they got especially drunk one night,
Yeah, and I mean, in some ways, one of the things that's going to be the best about this being in a, like you said, a hotter environment where it's a lot more normalized to just walk around naked.
Yep.
Now, it might not necessarily be socially acceptable outside on the streets necessarily.
Yeah.
That's going to be something where, he might not necessarily care as much, how intimate he gets with, either side. So.
Yeah, But we also have another character that was introduced in this episode that had a very particular introduction that I think we do need to talk about, because I loved Kohei. I loved Kohei this episode.
Yes.
And moving forward, I am very excited to see what they do with Kohei.
Right.
But the other character that I'm very excited to see what they do with is, Nanaka. Because Here's why. There is a very logical scientific reason for this.
Right? Yeah.
It's not just because she also looks...
Is it because she looks like Inoue?
No.
Did I just kill your Nanaka boner?
You will try. No. This is why I'm so excited to see what happens with Nanaka. We are going to get into a situation where we have a love triangle where a guy and a girl are competing.
I like it, yeah. I think that's fun.
I haven't seen that before. So in an anime, so I'm really excited to see how the dynamic gets played out. Because no. Here's why.
I'm following you. I'm following you, dude. Don't worry.
Because there's taboo on both sides.
Yeah. Right. But the competing side of it only works if both sides are willing to admit that they both are interested in the person.
Right.
Otherwise, one of them is going to be completely oblivious to the fact that they're actually, stifling someone else's, game in any way.
Yeah, Nanaka could be completely oblivious.
Also completely assumes also that Nanaka has even the
desire to pursue her attraction.
Yes, but I would say what's the impulse? Has the lack of, I don't know, has the capacity, I guess, to actually do anything about it. Because, let's be real, there's a lot of times in anime where characters like each other.
Oh, definitely.
And they don't do anything about it. Because in real life, y'all, most of your crushes, you didn't do anything about either anyway. So.
But one, there's going to be a lot of drinking. So
Jacob's like, we can't rule out anything here. This is the first episode. I like the way you think.
This is a one core anime. So there is, the manga is a thing. Mm-hmm. So there is definitely a possibility that nothing happens within the confines of
nothing at all.
This show. Mm-hmm. But
I think it's almost definitely the case. But yeah,
cannot be ruled off the table.
I'm with you. I just wonder what type of show is this? Is this the show where they literally just go and bang on the second episode? Or is this the episode where they ship bait you for,
that is
500,
that is a great point.
Chapters
because
or something.
even in a college setting, even in a situation where the characters just walk around naked, some of them anyways. There is a very legitimate possibility that that's more of the front that's put on of like, yes, we're totally going to go there all the time, no problem. But then they don't actually necessarily.
Right.
That's totally possible.
Right. Because also this is the other thing in university or college or what have you. There's just going to be so many like boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend situations and stuff like that where it's just going to be like,
on a weekly basis.
Don't go upstairs. Just don't for a little bit.
Yeah, it's just, there's the sock on the doorknob and
exactly. And then when they're done, someone else goes up and takes their turn because you only got the one bedroom in the place where the party is going on.
You start scheduling.
I'm not even kidding.
The Excel spreadsheet.
Like I'm not even kidding. It's not that taken that seriously, but it's a thing of like they'll just like come down and there's like no shame about it. They just woo, and then they just go past and then they jump back into drinking and stuff, and then literally like giggling, laughing, 2 people will go back up, maybe sometimes 4.
So. I'm gonna tell the story about how I came this close to basically
getting into like an orgy.
Well, yes, basically, a floating orgy. So I went traveling in between some like when I was in school.
Aussie.
Yeah, I went down to Australia and New Zealand. It was great.
Those
6 weeks
lads of models and freaking attractive.
Yep. Oh yeah, and sexy accents, and it was wonderful. And I spent 3 weeks in each, right? Or about 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yep.
And one of the places that I really wanted to go to when I was in Australia was Whitehaven Beach. It is one of the most gorgeous beaches in the world. Like, I literally found it by being like top 5 like most beautiful beaches in the world, right? It's amazing. But you can only go there on like unofficial tour because they're very like protective of making sure that like nothing, like no junk gets left there or anything like that. You can't even take the sand off the beach, like nothing, right?
Yep.
So I had to go on like a little 3-day little sailboat cruise kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some options. I hadn't planned out the trip very well though. So I went to a travel agency when I was over there, and they were like, well, there's two different, you have two different options basically. Or so you can do this one ship that, goes out there and does it, and then you can do this other ship. This one is more of the one that the young people like to do. So I'm guessing you'll probably want to do that one. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. And then they're like, oh no, I guess they're all booked up. Sorry, okay, is your schedule flexible? No, okay, yeah, that doesn't really work. All right, well, okay, so we'll do this other one. And I was like, okay, cool.
Here we go.
I found out when I went on the boat, I was talking to some of the people that manned the boat about the other one,
the love boat,
and they were like, "Oh yes." They almost did like a little moment of silence for the staff of the other boat. They were like, "Those people are badasses," and I was like, "Really?" Yeah. They're like, "So that other boat is the party boat, and it is just one big orgy, basically. Like it's constantly drunk. People are almost naked the entire time sometimes, and but then because of that, the staff have to super serious, make sure that no one gets hurt or falls off the boat and dies, anything like that, right? So the boat that I was on, the staff would join in and drink too and stuff, right? But so yeah, if not for the fact that it was already booked, I would have just ended up going onto that boat not knowing at all what I was in store for.
So you either would have had the best time of your life, or you would have been scared, traumatized in your cabin. It's like, I'm not here.
Oh, I'm not cabin? Here. No. This was a smaller boat.
How many people were needed to get booked on these boats?
I think it was 24 people or something.
Oh shoot! I was thinking that this was a liner of sorts.
No. So you had a bunk.
Oh my God! Of course it's an orgy then.
Yeah. So
no one has any good sleeping places anyway. So they're like, I need to release some chemicals, otherwise there's no way I'm falling asleep here. Yeah. And then, of course, alcohol, so extra reason to fall asleep.
Yeah.
No, you just fall asleep on the ground somewhere.
Right. So
bunks. Ew.
And on the non-party boat, the amount of booze that was brought, and I brought mine too, of course, right? But
it was still an obscene level.
Consumed was an obscene amount.
And they're like, this is nothing.
They were like, no, this is actually nothing. Double, triple this. That's what's going on.
What's great is there's probably one person watching this that's like, yeah, I know about that boat. Right. I'm from Australia, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
So the whole it's easy to look at an episode like this and say, it's anime, right?
I don't think anything they did this episode is that unrealistic.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. No,
I think for any of you that might have written off this episode as being like, okay, it might not happen like this everywhere.
Dude, I don't think anyone writes it off for that. I think it's just the idea of if anything, this style of humor is so zany and just kind of goofy that they're like, it's not for me. But then also just the idea of they're like, let's tease some incest, if you might.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why, if anything, that would be the case.
But yeah, so I'm just thinking, oh man, the polygons of it's going to get crazy.
I hope
it is going to get legit crazy.
I also just want to see one of these not Takamura JoJo frat boys just enter into a loving relationship. Just have the most wholesome relationship. And it's just absolutely we drink together, we pass out together.
Yep.
We just went up and
we caress each other together.
Right.
In loving embrace.
Right. And they are literally screwing each other on every single thing imaginable. Like it's just the joke of like, oh no, where'd they go? Well, okay, like under trucks, randomly.
I don't think they'd be able. Have you seen those muscles? They would not be able to fit under a truck.
I'm talking just really random, just kind of things there where it's just one of those things of no, where'd Tokita or where Ryujiro go? And it's just
I am legitimately wondering if there's going to be an orgy at some point.
I think maybe if anything they'd need more characters for that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not too many more.
No, not too many more is necessary. I think the main reason why is because we've got this cousin situation. So we need a lot more a lot more women.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just have it be a guy thing, and then
that could totally work too.
And then Ricardo, just comes out from the closet, and everything's just there. We go. I mean, what are we talking about?
God,
he was never in the closet. All right, but y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yes. That's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel that also has 6 main characters. And it's really cool. It's called Battle Lines, and it's on Amazon. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.